So already in version 1 we have seen about the printing of hello world statement and how to check the version. In this we will check the indentation. Indentation means the space how the program will execute. For the this, if 5 greater than 3, we have to print yes. If I execute the same program on execution, it will throw an okay. If statement is followed by semicolon, no. If execute, the yes will print. So for indentation there must be a necessary one space as per to execute the program, but as per the need of the developer can as much space provide as much space in the if else column block. So as much space, but by default one space is required. In this way, this is the indentation while executing the program under any looping statement. Without any looping statement, no need to give any space, like directly printing hello. Without any space it will also print, but within a loop or under any function it will by default need to be have a one space. So next, this is the indentation syntax while executing the loop you need to keep in mind. So next we can look on to our part like variables. So variables used to define the keywords, used to act as a storage value. But before defining and executing, let's write some of the rules of the variables that we need to keep in mind. Like variables are the container for storing the values. It value gets stored into it, and eventually later on we can print that value. And other thing, we can no command for declaring the variables, as simply we can type in any variable assigning value. Once value is being assigned, that variable will that letter will act as a variable. We only define letter. Like let's try out this with the code. Like we have defined x as a letter. Once we defined equal to 5, it x stores the value of 5. And using the print statement, if we print x, the 5 will displayed as x stored the value of 5. So it acts here, in this case x acts as a variable. These are the two things you need to keep in mind. As no command is required for declaring a variable, so as we assign value to it, then it acts as a variable. Otherwise it's a normal letter, normal English letter we are typed. uh, Type also we have not defined, like int type or string type or float type. We have not defined any of these, but eventually Python is a compiler is so smart, it eventually detects what type of variable it is. No, we in this code we have print the x variable, no printing that what type of variable it is, whether Python has sense it is of int type. Int means integer type, integer 0 to 9, these are integer types. So syntax is print type x. If we execute, see 5 is being print and type of variable is int type. It eventually detects. Now if I put it under a commas, it will eventually change its type to string type. So this is the smartness of the Python compiler. It eventually detects it. We don't have to define int type or some other type. So eventually if I type 5.21, it changes its type to float type. So like this is also the type casting. It eventually detects it. It sends the type of the variable, and likewise we can perform the function. No need to define it explicitly. In the case you can define it while typecasting, changing the variable int type to some other type. We will see it later on how to typecast and all this. So other things we can write about a variable is variables are the case sensitive. Like letter if it's lowercase or uppercase, likewise the assigning of variable will change. If I type see capital X equal to it hello, it's a string type. If I check the type of variable, both the capital one and the small case letter, both have the both are of different type. So we from this we can conclude that Python variables are case sensitive. Like we have type X. If we execute this, both are of different type. One is of string type and other is of float type. So variables are case sensitive also. So these 3-4 conditions need to keep in mind while defining a program, so we can use this. So other than that, it's a little about variable. So after that, we can check rules for declaring a variable. What are the different rules that Python, while executing a program in Python, what different rules I can use. Rules for declaring Python, we can use the first rule we can use is the variable always start with a letter or underscore. You can start a variable with a letter underscore, and you can start a letter with alphanumeric keywords. Alphanumeric keywords like A to Z, 0 to 9, and these underscore, these act as a alphanumeric keywords. We can start our variables with these names. These are the predefined rules in Python we need to keep in mind by defining any variable. After that, not start with any number while defining a variable. It must not be start with any number. The Python by default, it will not take it and throw an error on execution of that variable. And after that, uh, not to be a Python keyword. So the list of keywords that Python have predefined list of keywords, I would provide this in the description, or eventually you can also search on to the Google about list of Python keywords. So variables not to be start with a, like here, let's, we have defined starting with 2x equal to 5. Here it will throw an error, as the predefined rule is Python variable must not start with an integer. So here invalids decimal literal. So like this, these rules need to be keep in mind while defining a variable in Python. So after this, these are some of the things about variables. Writing multi-word variable name, like we have long variable name to make it understandable. We have, in case we have to use large variable, we can see large variable without any space create a uh, difficult to read. So we can use camel case, in which my first letter is small case and other letters that are combined without space are capital first letter of the word. Pascal case, in which first letter of all the variables are uh, capital case. Snake case, in which after every word I have typed, I typed as underscore. So in this case, for a large word, to make it understandable or readable, we can these types of uh, use of these types of keyword to make it understandable for the people. So different cases on how to assign values to a variable. So already we have seen we can directly write a letter and then equal to, and then we can define. So instead of writing in different lines, we can at the same time, with separated by a comma, define a value to a variable like x comma y comma z. We have directly assigned 5 comma 6 comma 7. So by default it will take the value, it will understand the 5 is for x, 6 is for letter y, and z is for z takes the value of 7. So like this. So this one print statement print differently, or if you need to print in same line separated by commas, under the print statement you can write this also. So this is how you can assign values to the variable different ways. So this is the one way where we have defined the value to the variable using a comma. Or you can also use another statement, like already we have defined, we are assigning a one value to different variables. Like we have 3 variable, all are equal to a one value, that is 5, and we are printing all these different variables but all having the same value. So in the output also it prints the same value. So for multiple variables we have assigned a single value, that is 5 in this case. So like this you can assign writing a variable, multiple variable having one value, or multiple variable having multiple values, printing it at the same time. So like this we can use. Other than that, if we have a list of things, list of values, having assigned to one variable, list of values, we can uh, take that all these, we can assign different for each value. We have we can assign different variable like a, b, c, separated by comma, equal to that x that contains all the list of values. So taking all list of values into one variable, so one variable hold list having different values. So one variable store one part of the list. So on print we can, like this syntax you can use. So wait, it gives an error. So instead of L, it's like importing from library. Instead of importing, we are normally writing the variable rule. Instead of writing this, we can directly write our variable and then print. So each variable ABC holds the list values. So list have a combination of values. We have separately a different variable for each list values. So like this you can assign list value to different variable. So output of variables, how you can define different ways to a variable storing a letter storing a value, variable, different ways to output, to like how we can output those value, like xyz holding the value of 1 2 3. On printing the print statement, we can directly write print xyz. It will output the value storing in xyz, that is 1 2 3. Other way to for output of a variable, we can use a plus sign. On plus sign also, if these are all of integer type, it will add up all these value and provide the result. So if you don't want a result, you can separate those by comma. So see, if we change the type, one is of if we change the type to string type and separate it by comma, and on print it will print string. By default it will not add on. We have different function to this concatenate the string. We will learn it on the later stage. So like this we can output a variable. These are the different ways for output of a variable we can use in to output a variable. So we'll try something out there also. So we can ignore it for now. These are the two ways you have learned about, like how to write the variable name and all this. You can use add symbol for this one case. You can take it like x having an integer value, b and cr of string type. It will not it not we have to typecast it, like we have to tell the compiler that it is also of string type. So that's on that conversion it will provide the output. Otherwise, one of string type, other of integer type, it will not sense and throw an error. So other on variable, we can look on to the global variable. Global variable are those which are defined once and used again and again in different scenarios, different ways. Like we have defined a global variable x equal to good, and we have some functions. Under functions we can use value uh, of x is defined once, we can use it again and again in our functions. Like def is the keyword. So these are the list of keywords. You can also check the description, or you can search on the Google also. So def keyword is used to define the function. We have used function f name func, then printing python is, and using the global variable plus x. This is the method you can use in to use variables plus x with your output on execution. Okay, Def function also uses the semicolon, like same like if statement also uses the semicolon. On execution, Python is, see, the global variable is being attached to the output with the local function. With the local function we have combined the global variable. So this is the use of global variable, how global variable are defined and how we can execute them. So this is the one case of global variable. We have learned all these things. So other than that, there is global variable. No, we can use also a local variable. So instead a global variable used again and again in the same code, but if with the same name we have defined it in the local location, so both have the different meaning. It will not intersect on execution. So like this we can, let's execute a program in which with the same name, with the same variable name, one used at the global level, one used at the local level. So we have created global level variable x equal to as name it as global, defining a function in this. Okay, we have to define a local variable also. We can use same x. So it will not uh, to provide this example we can conclude this: there is no intersection between the global and the local variable if both using the same name. So here see the red line under the print, because under the functions under is x and print need to be in same space as under the function, like if function or defining a function need to be on the same space. If or on the different space, it will give an error. So like this we have provided the same space. So here under the local function we are printing our local value, and another print statement we are printing the global value. There is no intersection like same variable different usage. Like on output we can see Python is local, which is using the local variable, and Python is global, where Python is using the global variable. This is how we can use local variable and global variable in Python. Other than that, we can other use case we can have if x equal to, let's type in other use case we can type in x equal to global. Then after that we can provide use a function. Here I am used to provide another usage of this variable. Here we are declaring under the local function a global variable. Although we have defined a global variable, but explicitly mentioning global with the keyword makes that letter as global. So under a local function we are defining a global variable. Like this you can also use in the Python. So Python provide this much flexibility to you. So instead let's say w equal to global, and under local function we are using a keyword global. So this will makes the keyword, this keyword as a global keyword makes the variable as global. Let's assign a value to this keyword w keyword. So we have assigned a global keyword. So as its functions we are writing the same, like global keyword what it's using, so variable also printing the same. So on print statement we can type in Python is and using this w keyword. So on, let's execute. We can type in function. For execution no need to print, simply we are calling the function here. And once let's take another print statement in which we are using a w. Here it will not take the it here also it will take the global keyword. So here for both of the output, Python is global keyword, Python is global keyword. So for both it is using the global variable. So once keyword global is being used, so all, whether local or global one, use the same keyword. So let's look on to the comments, how we comment in the Python. Simply you can use hashtag before a statement. It will comment whole of the code you have written. So comments basic use you can keep in it, enhance the readability, use for make programmer understandable. Like one developer have developed some application, so comments make the whole code more readable, more understandable for people to understand it more clearly, like what is being uh, executed. Another you can use triple quotes. These quotes not explicitly mostly used, if not assigned a variable or something, can be used as a comment also. Python although reads it but ignores it as no variable or no executory function is assigned to them. So Python reads it and ignores it. Can be used as a comment, only variable not assigned to it. Python reads it simply. Same Python reads and ignores it at the same. Let's try it how program how the under the codes we are typing. Python is a good language, although Python reads it but ignores the execution of this statement. And after that we can write print, and the print statement we print on execution, it only prints hello.